It's great to talk to you again about something related to Harry Potter because, you know, we thought that the universe would stay in the movie archives, but all of a sudden we're reviving it. It feels like Harry Potter, but not completely like it. And it's very nice that you've created another world. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the world comes from Joe Rowling, so the connection is very clear, and the spirit that informs the film is very much hers and very much connected to her Wizarding world. We've gone back to 1926 New York, before the Great Depression, Great Crash of 1929, and you know, as fascism is bubbling under the surface. That's the world, you know, that we take, that we go to with Newt Scamander. And it's, you know, it's fantastic. I mean, fantastic of the title. It's very rich. It's very textured. It's full of life. And I think for all the fantasy and all the magic, what really makes this world shine, I think rather like the Potters, is the characters. You know, Newt, Tina, Queenie, and Jacob are four vivid, beautifully written characters, wonderfully brought to life by our actors. And whom we recognize ourselves and our friends within it. They are us. And I think that's, you know, that they are Joe Rowling's creation, and so beautiful and vivid and engaging. And I think audiences, I hope audiences, will enjoy spending 2 hours with them.
Of course, I did it very much so. And, you know, you've had Jo Rowling around for all the Harry Potter books, but in here she's all the more involved as a screenwriter. Yes. How was that experience?
Well, you know, this is an original screenplay.
Yeah, exactly.
Not based on a book, which is both a blessing and a little bit of a burden. The burden comes from the fact that you don't have 100 million readers who enjoyed, more, who enjoyed the books. You're coming fresh. But that's also a blessing. Because people don't have that history. They don't look at characters that have been left out, or moments that you know, are included or not included, or someone has brown hair as opposed to blonde hair, blue eyes as opposed to green eyes. There's more freedom, and for David Yates especially, the opportunity to build this world from scratch, I think, is a pleasure. You know, having Jo is the most remarkable thing. She is she has an extraordinary mind, and is a writer of such brilliance. A screenwriter, not just a novelist, but now a screenwriter. So you know, she is involved as she was in Harry Potter. She's a very generous spirit who gives David this time the freedom to make the film that he wants to make. We run key decisions by her. Once we've decided on the cast we want, we go to her to make sure she's okay with it, with designs too, with key designs. And for the most part, in fact, almost always, she's fine with it. She has given us, she trusts David, trusts us, and has given us the space to make the film that he wants to make. Yeah. But there was one design where she did step in, and that was the interior of the case. We had designed something that was much more extraordinary. Something that was maybe more fantastical in a way, and you know, very elaborate. But Jo came in and said, you know, Newt is not Voldemort or Dumbledore. He doesn't have these powers. It needs to be a little more homemade. So, you know, what we created was ultimately a little more Heath Robinson, a little more homemade, homespun, and I think, you know, obviously she was absolutely right.
Everybody agreed on Eddie Redmayne, I suppose, as Newt Scamander from the beginning?
Yes, well, Eddie Redmayne was our one and only choice for Newt. He's quintessentially British. He feels like he can exist in not only 2016, 17, but also in 1926. He's great at playing outsiders and imbuing them with a humanity. He's such a humane person, Eddie. And that was really important with a character like Newt, who's a little naughty, a little quirky, who is much more comfortable with his beast than he is with people. He's socially a little awkward. And yet Eddie makes him utterly winning, utterly sympathetic. And no, we were lucky to get him, and he leapt at the opportunity, and we're very grateful that he did.
Yeah, he works totally for it. I can't imagine anyone else doing it. It's really great. And are you gearing up for another 4? What's the plan?
Well, Jo announced quite recently that there would be 5. when she began the process, halfway through writing the first screenplay, she said, I'm going to get somebody else to write the next two. It was originally envisioned as a trilogy. But by the time she got to the end of the process, I think she enjoyed it a lot and decided that she would write the next two herself. And then halfway through the second script, she said, well, there are now going to be 5, which was great news, music to our ears. We're working on the second right now, but first let's see how this film does, because it's only if this film does well that we'll make a second. But I'm cautiously optimistic, and so far, really love the script that she's written and we're working on. We are all very ambitious for these films, for any film that we work on, and the challenge now is to make a second film that's better than the one that we've just made.